Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emma and I make art videos, and for today's video I am working on a coloured pencil portrait on some toned paper. So if you watch my channel, I've talked about my drawing process a fair bit, so I'm gonna kind of not go over this too much. If you want to see a drawing tutorial, I have a couple on my channel so you can check them out. Basically, I use the method of drawing a circle and drawing the lines on the face. So one line for the center of the face to show where, you know, like the nose is, and then the other one that shows where the eyes are going to be, and then I kind of just work from there, and that's how I approach most of my portraits. And for this drawing I'm working with a 2B pencil and I'm working on some brown toned paper, and I decided to work on some toned paper just because it's not something that I normally do, and it's really good practice because a lot of my work, I don't do a whole lot of shading on faces. I like really subtle shading. It does depend on what I'm working with, but I will generally choose softer shading over more harsh shading. So for this piece I'm kind of, I guess, you know, working on two different things. So one of them being the toned paper and the other working with more harsh lighting. So I did want to talk about the benefits of working on toned paper compared to, say, white paper, which most people will generally work on. So when you're working on white paper, sometimes because the white is so bright, it can actually warp your perception of colors and values. So you'll find a lot of artists will either cover their white paper with like a mid-tone and then start drawing or painting, or the same thing with like if you're working with a painting, they might just do a wash of color to kind of, you know, tone down the white because it's just like super bright. And this way your colors will seem, I guess, more true to your eye. I think that's probably a good way to put it. Whereas if you're working with white and you put a color down on white, if you put that same color on top of a toned paper, it's going to look slightly different. So it kind of just takes away from that harshness of the white paper. And I guess the same thing would apply if you're working on black paper. Not that that is as I guess common. It's definitely more common to be working on white paper. But when you're working on toned paper, it also gives you the option to work both ways. So on white paper, you're only really working in the dark colors and then just leaving the areas that need to be light just kind of more bare in a way. Obviously, depending on what you're working with, you can erase areas or go over them with, you know, if it's paint, you can easily go over it. But in my case, so for drawing, you more so leave those areas bare if you need it to be kind of highlighted and that kind of thing. So with toned paper, you can work in the darks as well as the lights, so you get an idea of where they both are instead of just focusing on one of them. So you can see here I'm subtly working in my shadows and highlights, especially the shadows, because, you know, I can't really go back from the shadows with colored pencil. I want to be sure that I'm putting my lines down or my shadows down where they need to go. So my middle tone, I've done it quite light, so I can, you know, I can still go over it with the lighter color if I need to, but I can darken it up as well. At this stage I'm pretty happy with it, so I'm just going in with my darkest color, which is a dark brown, and just darkening up the lines. Personally, I like a bit of line work in my drawing, so I'm approaching it that way, but if you're going for a more realistic look, you can do it that way as well. And then I'll go in shortly with my mid-tone and darken that up, and then go in with the highlight color and, I guess, put more pressure. I'm not darkening that area up, I'm actually brightening it up, but I am putting more pressure down in those areas. And you'll also notice for this drawing, I'm just using the three colors. I'm not going in with, you know, a realistic skin tone. I'm just using dark brown, a middle brown and a very light white. It's kind of like an off-white, it's like a yellowish white. I didn't want to go pure white because I feel like that would have been a bit too harsh. But you can really use any 3 colors as long as one is dark, one is a mid-tone, and one is light. You can apply the same methods to that. So yeah, that's how I approached this drawing. You do want to be careful with your darks. You don't want to go in too harsh straight away. You want to make sure you're happy with where everything is before you kind of go in more with that. But yeah, I think it's important to work on toned paper. If you don't normally do it, maybe give it a try. You don't always have to work on it if it doesn't work for you, but I don't know, it just kind of makes you, I guess, see shading and drawing and that kind of stuff in a slightly different way. So yeah, anyway, that is all from me today. This piece is almost finished. I just need to finish working on the hair. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel either. That way you hopefully won't miss any of my videos, but if you are missing my videos, please make sure to hit that notification bell, because otherwise YouTube just might not show my video to you, which it tends to do. So please hit that bell if you want to see my videos. I think that's all I have to say for today's video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you found it helpful or interesting. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's video, and if you've got any other tips yourself, feel free to leave them in the comments so I can read them, or other people watching these videos can also read them. So yeah, I feel like I've been talking for ages, so I'm gonna stop talking now. Thank you for watching. Here is the finished piece, and I will see you all next time.